Okay, lesson 6, in which we have a closer look now at the way in which we select notes according to what chord is being played. We've already done quite a lot of that. We've looked at the theory of arpeggios, of scales. We've looked at how some notes work with some chords, how when a chord changes, the notes that we use have different functions, so therefore we pick different notes, or we pick the same note but in a different way. We've looked at how we can use all that information that we know to connect chords together. What we're going to look at now is all that in some more detail. We're going to examine all that stuff much more closely, and we're going to have an exercise in the next musicianship video that will help you to start to bring all that together in your improvising. But for now, let's take a step back from what we looked at last time in the Big Bill Broonzy video, where we were following chords around and looking at chord changes and arpeggios, and get back to our minor pentatonic scale. What I want to do now is use that minor pentatonic scale only, and look how it fits over a 12-bar blues, a standard 12-bar blues progression that we learned very early on, and how we can select notes from the minor pentatonic according to the chord we're on. So all the notes in the G minor pentatonic, in this case I'm tuned to G, so all the notes in the pentatonic scale from the key according to the chord. Yeah? The first one is the flat third on the third fret. The first one is clearly the open string, the 1. Then the flat third, then the 4, then the 5, then the flat 7, and the 1 again. Okay. Now, over the 1 chord, each of those notes functions according to its name. So the 5 is a strong note, the same as that chord fragment that we play all the time. It's just an octave apart. Big strong 5 note, we use it all the time. We can use it to resolve our melodies. Okay, and the 1's the same, even more so. It's the 1. It's the one we often start with, not always, but generally finish with, not always. But it will provide a strong base for our resolving our melodies. Okay, so there we go. We're going to start there. We go up to there, come back. The flat third is a blues note. The 4 has some tension, not as much as the blues note, resolves through the flat third. Well, this is revision, so that's all right. 5 we've just looked at, flat 7, another strong bluesy note, resolves up to the 1. We saw how Big Bill Broonzy used it. Like that, yeah? Pick up to the 1. We can also come back to the 5. Okay. Now on the 4 chord, let's have a look at those notes now, what goes on there. That note there is the 5 chord now, the 5 note now. Remember our arpeggio? 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 7, 5, 3, 1. That note there is the 7 now, the flat 7, the blues note. Yeah, we just saw that. 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. Okay, so we've got, and we did this right from the very start as well, but now I'm explaining to you how it works. these three notes here at the top, where the first two dots are on the 3rd and the 5th fret, we use them for the 4 chord and the 1 chord easily in different ways. When we're on the 1 chord, we won't stay here for too long. We'll use it to start our melody sometimes, to create a little bit of tension to get through back to the 1. When we're on the 4 chord, then, if we now use this note at the end of our melodies, you can hear how we're on the 4 chord now. Yeah? So this is what we want to get at in this lesson, is using these same notes in a different way depending on the chord that we're on. Yeah? So on the 4 chord, I will use this note as if it's the 1. In the past I've been using that as if it's the 1 and resolving to it. Now I'm going to resolve here. Okay, so I'm playing the same lick in sort of a reverse direction to resolve at a different place, and you can hear how it suggests the different chord. We're still on the 4 chord. This 5 note in the 1, the D, in connection to the 4, now it's the 2nd note of the scale, isn't it? It's up the tone. So remember our major scale, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That is the tone from the 1 to the 2. So it's a 9 or a 2. Now remember the function of the 2? It was sort of added flavour, didn't it? It didn't give it as much blues as that, but it definitely adds a lot of flavour. So on the 4 chord, we can add that note there as like a connecting note, or just an extra little note to put in, just for a bit of fun, but not on a big strong resolving type function. Okay, the flat 7 note then in the 4 chord, right, this one here on the 10th fret, that's the 4 note. So remember the 4 created a bit of tension, but it's not a strong resolving note, it's not a strong tense note, it's just a note that we can use to get between other places, really, is its main function. Doesn't do a lot other than that. You can start, it's good to start a lick on the 4. So maybe on the, so there's the 4 chord. You can go like that. So that started on the 4, went down via the 3, 2 to the 1. Okay, targeting, and then back to the 1. So you can hear in that lick the 4 chord before I went back to there. Then the octave, again that's the 5 note in that 4 chord. Same as that one, same as that one. So you can always use it strongly as well. It has the added advantage of being the tonic, so your listener will be familiar with that note when he or she hears it. So there are those notes, same notes in terms of the 4 chord. We've looked at a couple of different licks that you can play using those notes over the 4 chord. 5, let's have a look at the 5. Okay, now we have a whole different space again, so everything moves, everything changes. That's the 1 now. Let's come back here. Now that note is the 4 over here. Okay, 1, it's this distance away, which is a perfect 4th. So it becomes the 4 note. And remember with the 4 we can use it to start our licks. It's not a particularly strong one, it doesn't define the chord in a main way, but we can start there and move toward it. Okay, the flat 7 over the 5 chord is the minor 3rd, isn't it? Remember that minor 3rd is a bluesy note. how here, what I've done here, I've gone D chord up to the flat 7, and that functions there in a bluesy way because it's got that minor third distance, that connection, that relationship, that distance. And then I repeat that riff from over the 4 chord, from the 5th to the 7th fret, not using the same interval. So look at the difference between that and this. Okay, that's fine. You can do that if you want, but all I did there was repeat the same thing down a tone. If I did that but repeat it with a variation, so that I went to the pentatonic note, we have a different flavour there. It's not as quite as mimicky as parity, but it still gives us some variation. That's that one. The 1 is the 4, as we've said. This one behind us now is the flat 7. So here with our dots, we've got the 1, the flat 7 blues note there, and the flat 3rd blues note there. So these notes in our pentatonic scale from the 1 are real bluesy. Okay, if we just play the same dots but centre it around the D now because it's the 1. Okay, you can hear why I wanted to end that little lick there so I could go to there. So same thing there, wasn't it? Then repeat the same thing over the 4 chord, but use that note now. Or I could have gone. I know, we're just sticking to the minor pentatonic for now. Now that one, the flat 3rd over the 5, is, what is that? That's the sharp 5 or the flat 6. Now that's a new one. We haven't looked at that yet. We've only looked at thirds, fourths, flat 7s and stuff. The sharp 5 is a note that does work on the 5 chord, on the dominant, for reasons that we will get to later. So you can do that, you can use that as well, but there's a lot of tension there, right? There's the bass note for the D, right, so I can play that. But there's a lot of tension, like I said, so it wants to come home somewhere. To there, or to there. Yeah. Back down a tone to the 5, or back there to the flat 7 in the D chord. Okay, so you can use that one as well, but just be aware that there's a bit of tension there, right? So a lick on the flat 5 on the D chord, that you can use to get from the 5 to the 4 could be that. So, and that was the same sort of thing that I spoke about earlier, where we're just repeating a sort of idea in a different space using the dots, the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, now the rest of your notes look at doing a similar sort of thing with the major scale. We've already covered that pretty much in the previous video, so I'm not going to spend a lot more time on that. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier, and what I want you to practice is coming up with licks that fit this D major scale, D major chord, either using the pentatonic notes or using the chord tones, the arpeggios, or a combination of both of those things. Yeah? And you do that by targeting the one, basically. Okay, if we're going to simplify it, in the early stages at least, when you're getting this down, do that by targeting the one. So start there, play any of the minor pentatonic notes, that's the dots apart from the 6. And then, yeah, just target the first note of the whatever chord you're going to with your lick, which brings us on to our next lesson that will help you out with that. Okay, well done. Cheers.